Hello, everybody. I am Courtney Hudson. I am Diane Finnestead Ellis's assistant here at Diane Insurance STL. This is our, gosh, this is number seven, right?
Yes, this is number seven.
Okay, because
Lucky
yeah,
seven.
yeah. This is number seven. Tune in Tuesday, and we're going to cover independence and mobility. Since it was just Independence Day, I felt like it was a really good topic to discuss. So does anybody want to go ahead and introduce themselves real fast before we go ahead and get started?
Sure, I'll start. I'm Kathy Conley Jones, and my firm is Kathy Conley Jones Consults. I thought that would be a really simple way to put it. And I have been a friend of this wonderful woman, Diane Finnestead Ellis, before she was Ellis. But I am a what I call I'm rewired agent, the broker, and I'm happy to be here to learn more.
Yay, Kathy. So glad you're here.
Crazy.
Eileen, do you want to introduce yourself?
Okay, I'm Eileen Hedrick, and I'm actually part of a family-owned business. So I'm the founding nurse, and then my husband, you just met John, the rest of them all did. And then we have wonderful children who now, as we've semi-retired and stepped a little back as advisors or ambassadors or whatever we want to call ourselves. Denise and Andrew, our children, and our other daughter basically are running the show, and everything they've learned over the years under while we were there, they're taking it forward just faster, quicker, younger, sharper. Wonderful. So I'm getting to still take care of our seniors and our sick, but in a more of a gentle, fragile way. As and I get to go out and pray with the people, so I'm doing what I love.
That's wonderful. What's the name of your business, Eileen?
I should say it's like Martha's Hands Home Care.
Okay, I love it. Thank you.
Faith-based. So it's serving God with love.
I love it.
They're amazing.
Yes, they're trained in the ways of Mother Teresa, which is pretty impressive.
Oh, absolutely. I love her.
When
And
I
Well,
had
the whole quote is we serve with our hands, love with our hearts, and seek the face of our Creator in those we serve. And that is a quote from Mother Teresa. But many, many wonderful caregivers have said those same things over the centuries. So we're just one of the taking care of God's kids. Or walking each other home. I call it walking each other home.
I love that. Oh my God.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Then I see Pam Budke.
Hi, Diane. I've known Diane for a very long time, and not only has she helped my business find insurance help, she's helped me, especially since I'm over the retirement age, so I'm still working. And she has also helped me a lot with my daughter who has special needs, and getting the right insurance for her is extremely important. So I've really enjoyed and I love Diane, and everybody here I'm sure does. Just her bubbly personality and her big heart is just amazing. And you don't always find that in other businesses, but it seems like some of you also share that. I am the executive director for Champ Assistance Dogs, and I don't know if you're familiar with this, but we too train and place assistance dogs to help people, children, adults, and veterans with physical and or cognitive disabilities. And our dogs are trained when we start from birth, working with these dogs, socializing them, and then training them. And we train them for about 17 months to 2 years of age. And then they're placed free of charge with people who need them. And the placement of a service dog with someone can be life-changing, absolutely life-changing. And we also place, I'm going to tell you this too. We also place facility dogs, and facility dogs are trained the same way as our service dogs, but they work with professional caregivers in medical facilities. They work in child advocacy centers, courthouses, just all places, schools with counselors. But if you think about it, a child who has been through horrific experiences, when they're in a courtroom and they're facing their abuser across the room, it's really scary. And our dogs can go behind the witness stand with that child and put their heads in their lap and bring them comfort and courage. And usually they can find their voice to say what they need to say. So it's wonderful. It really is. And I just enjoy it so much. So it's nice to meet all of you.
I just got goosebumps. That was really that was
Yes.
touching. It really was. I really did get goosebumps too. Like I'm looking at my arm and it's rolling up.
I'm tearing up over here.
Yeah.
You're right.
It is wonderful. I am so blessed to know so many beautiful, soulful women. I'm so blessed in that. And I will say, I'm going to brag on each of you. So this is in the recording. I'm going to brag on Courtney because Courtney finished her BSW. This is after she lost her mom. And I met her when she was advocating for her mom and she was finishing her internship at Voice STL. And so it was one where she was at one of my Medicare 101 sessions and her hand just kept on going up and going up. Diane, is that really the way it is? Can you explain that again? And she was really wanting to learn the information. I knew right then and there she had to be part of the team. She had to, because I have so many clients that call me and they want to know information like we're going to discuss today. And Courtney was the one that came to me and said, Diane, we need to offer these classes and cover these topics because they're asking you questions. You know all the right people to get them on a Zoom and to help others. So in that vein, I want to give a great compliment to Eileen. And when I went through and toured Martha's Hands, there was a bed in the corner and a picture of Mother Teresa. And I said, what is that bed in the corner? She said, well, we just left it there. During COVID, she said, we had over 250 families. We never missed one of them. We always went to see them. And that's where Andrew, her husband, slept. She goes, so we just left it there as a symbol that we will do whatever we need to do to serve others. And I've always remembered that in my mind. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such a heart for it's mission work at that point, you know. And so I will also say about Kathy, one of the things that y'all need to know, she was the past president of NABIP, the National Association of Benefits Insurance Professionals in St. Louis. And then Kathy was instrumental on the national level for diversity and inclusion and promoting that because she has such a wonderful relationship with everyone in NAIA, which is, Kathy, I hope I don't botch it because I always do, the National Association of African American Insurance Agents. Correct?
Close
Oh,
enough.
yeah.
You got it. I'm so proud of you.
And so Kathy, at one point, she calls me and she says, well, Diane, I can't make that because we were going to go to something. And she was getting the Legacy Award for national recognition of her career. So it has been an MDRT for the last 30 years, $1 Million Round Table, making decisions and helping groups and helping businesses just get through all of the yucky stuff. Now, Pam, you need to know, I'm going to brag on you too. So Pam, when I see you, I just think of all the doggies I have ever loved in my life. Can y'all still see me?
No.
Just your picture.
We only saw your picture.
Hold on a second. Let me see if I can come back in. Video. Here we go. Let me see here. Hold on. You there? Oh,
Yep.
there we go. Okay.
We see you.
So Pam, I will tell you, every time I see a doggie, I think of Pam. I see, because she has such a heart. She loves people She loves dogs. She loves making sure that people that have dogs have more understanding about them. She uses dogs as a conduit so she can actually bring people into their best selves through a wonderful the pet therapy that I know is embodied in her, but it's not something she talks about. She is one where she is a connector to making something better in the world because we connect to animals. Not all of us connect directly to people, but she's able to make that connection to the animal, to the person, to bring out the best in that person. And I think it's the relationship she's had with the women's prison, where it's the most esteemed position to get to that trainer position at the prison to train the dogs. And you talk about restorative of somebody's soul, to have the trust of another animal in them when they haven't had the trust of society, and to rebuild a person and to rebuild their confidence and know that they are loved unconditionally, especially when expressed through an animal. Oh my gosh, Pam, I will love you forever because of that. That is such a beautiful thing. So,
Diane,
ladies,
you need to come up and visit because we can take visitors up to the
oh,
prison.
good.
So I would love to have any of you. So
Oh.
yeah,
Field
it's
trip.
usually the first Monday of the month, and we can arrange that. So just yeah, I would love for that. And a lot of the ladies up there will give testimonies to how the dogs have changed their lives. So yeah,
It's just
but thank you.
awesome.
Thank you.
It's just awesome. So I'm just so thrilled for Courtney to give us all this information for us to chime into.
Yeah.
So Courtney, take it away.
All right, I'm going to start sharing my screen. So hold on a minute. Sometimes it takes a second. All right, y'all can see it, right? Because I can't see it anymore. All right. All right. So this is Tune In Tuesday, brought to you by Diane Finnestead Ellis. And of course, the content is created by me, Courtney Hudson.
Yay.
Yay. So small steps today can help preserve independence tomorrow. All right, so some statistics about independence and mobility. 1 in 5 adults ages 65 and over lack access to a vehicle. This is something that kind of shocked me because that really never crossed my mind, honestly. You think about, them not being able to drive, but you don't even think about the access to an actual vehicle. 30% of adults age 75 and older report serious difficulty walking or climbing stairs. And that alone is an extreme hazard in itself. We were actually just at a client's house the other day, and she had these dangerous stairs, and she talked about how she had fell right by them. And I'm like, oh, 2 steps over, and that would have not been good at all. Yeah, so that was eye-opening too. Almost 40% of adults age 75 and older are physically inactive. And we're going to get to why this is important later on in the slide. There's a slide about how the staying physically active can, help negate some of these things. And then 2/3 of American adults would prefer independence over a longer life, which I can totally honestly see that. I feel the same way, and I'm only 35 right now, and I feel the same way right then and there. So why does independence matter? The fact that most adults would rather remain in their own homes for as long as they can. That's the biggest factor right there, because we want people to keep their autonomy. That's really what it's about. Independence supports dignity, confidence, and quality of life, which all help boost mental health. And then that also has a significant effect on physical health, whether anybody wants to admit it or not. Our mental health can totally destroy our physical health over time. Small changes today can help reduce future loss of independence and mobility. So what does independence mean to you? Anybody want to take a shot at it?
I say that independence means freedom. And freedom basically it gives you everything you want mentally, financially, and physically, and spiritually. I'd like to say that the beauty of this group is the independence that's available, because everyone is showing in a different way how independence can come together, but at the same time, approach and identify different areas. So independence is freedom to me.
You win the prize, Kathy.
I agree with that, and it also, when you feel confident, even if you have disabilities and you feel confident, I mean, it changes your whole outlook on life. And you can feel independent, you can feel self-confident, and you can feel proud, even if you have to have help along the way. But just feeling independent is a wonderful feeling, and staying in your home is outstanding. I think that's what we all want.
Absolutely.
Is.
And I would.
That's why I said you want. Oh, go ahead, Eileen. Sorry, go ahead.
So my husband and I are still walking and talking and being able to step out forward. We love having the independence of being in our own home. We're making it as accessible, making changes as we need to keep us safe and well. But we're still able to get out and about, going to church, going to the freedom of doing whatever we really would like to do. We might have to make adjustments. Yes, I had to give up my bike. He had to give up we had to give up our skis, but we have the memories of skiing, and we have the memories being able to go and watch and then being able to go and watch our children and our grandchildren and our great grandchildren. So being able to go out, that freedom of still being able to do, and even as we age, different things will happen and maybe change the way we do things, but we can still do what we can, continue to bear good fruit walking forward.
Absolutely. And, I think that's the next slide right here, shows everything that everybody just mentioned. That you guys all hit it all right on the head. It's freedom, it's choice, it's safety, it's family, it's home, it's purpose, it's confidence, it's connection, and it's dignity. There's also driving on there, but I think that I didn't realize when I was putting this on the slide, I think that, it is probably a little bit of independence is driving, but you can still, there's so many ways to negate that nowadays with everything that, Uber and all of that. So I don't think that that's necessarily independence, but some people probably do feel that way if it's taken from them, I'm sure. So
Courtney, if you just quickly on that driving, I think probably one of the biggest issues for individuals, either because of a physical inability or an aging, that someone takes their keys away from them. Mm-hmm. So don't think of it just as, oh, I get in the car and I drive. It's that same freedom because they don't have to depend on calling someone to come and get them, all of that. And the last thing that usually happens is the family member or the doctor say, you have to take the keys. They cannot drive anymore, maybe because of reduced reflexes or anything like that. So I do think that driving or the inability or to drive, I think that's a great piece to have there. I wouldn't take that off.
Okay. Okay. You opened my perspective on it, because at first I was like, well, that's a little limiting, I feel like, but yeah, I see where it was going. So
and Courtney and I yesterday we were at a Medicare 101 that I was giving, and it was actually sponsored by Dedicated and also Essence. Dedicated is a program that if someone has a Medicare Advantage plan in the St. Louis area, and they're also around the country. And it's a concept to where it's a one-stop shop for all of your doctors and your specialists. And you're able to access them within a day if you need to see a doctor. There's not this long wait that we are experiencing since post-COVID. And they were saying yesterday that they offer transportation to and from their offices, which is amazing. And she said, one of the things she said was, so when we tell them we have to take the keys, we tell them, here's how you can still come see us. And so I was like, well, if you got to soften that, that's a great way to do it.
Absolutely.
So it's Eileen, along with driving, I also belong to another support group. I help them with some of the nursing sides of resources. And that is one of the hardest things that adults have to do, is be able, for one, for the children, of having to speak to mom and dad about that it would be safer for them and others to have them not drive, or for us to willingly say, you know what, I'm not as sharp as I was before, and none of us would want to hurt anyone. And that's what it's all about, keeping you safe, the freedom of being able to say, I choose to do this, to be able to make sure I'm safe and others around me are safe. The liability goes on and on. I just heard that insurance companies and the legal aspects are starting to make everyone that knows that there's a diagnosis there of maybe some mental changes, and everybody becomes legally responsible that's caring for that adult. I just found, meaning that's through the Alzheimer's Association. I go there into a support group and answer questions for other people. But that is huge and real. And yet we would hate the idea of giving up our responsibility. I felt bad when he took my bike. He said, I know you know how to drive, or you know how to ride a bike, but I'm afraid of other people hitting you. So I'm good with work. I was able to give up a bike. That was easy. But I don't know what we'll do if we have to give up a car. We'll deal with each one. That's the good news, is usually most things come. If you think about what you want to do, you basically you're choosing to say, I want to stay safe, because the relationships that we have are so important to us, to be able to see the children and see others and stay as able as we can.
Yes, absolutely.
So that like your slide says right there, Courtney, it's the preservation of autonomy. It is making those choices and changing your mindset. Instead of something being taken away, what are you choosing to replace that? And as Eileen said, it's you're choosing family. You're choosing to be around. You're choosing to be safe. You're choosing to have that independence, to love who you want to love, and you choose that independence over car keys at that point. So yeah, the preservation of autonomy is very important.
Yes.
I love that. I love how you don't look at what you're giving up. You look at what you're taking on, more or less, pretty much, or what you're getting in return of that. I love that. So that's an amazing way to look at it. So what causes someone to lose their independence? It looks like falls, chronic pain, poor balance, vision or hearing changes, medication side effects, social I can't say that word today. Social isolation, transportation challenges, or a significant health event such as, a heart attack or some emergency surgery or something along those lines, like you have your appendix removed, God forbid, fall and break your hip and have to have surgery, anything along those lines. And this is going back to the connection between the movement and independence. So this is why it matters that so many older adults are not physically active. Exercising keeps you independent by directly supporting the functional abilities needed to tackle daily tasks. And it can reduce your risk for falling by nearly 1/3. It helps ease daily tasks such as carrying groceries or climbing the stairs. It helps also preserve your brain health. It strengthens your bones, which is very, very important as you age. It also increases energy, which helps regulate your sleep cycle and will decrease fatigue. And of course, another big one is it strengthens your heart health, which is very, very important. So what does this look like? It looks like walking daily, which that helps psychologically too, a tremendous amount. We talked about that in the one about mental health, how, getting outside it really does help with your mental health. Stretching, which that's even like doing chair exercises that can help maximize your overall flexibility, which that's going to help you task, like climbing the stairs or even just little things, getting in and out of the shower. Strength training exercises, which is doing squats or even, carrying water jugs. They don't even have to be filled all the way. They could just be half filled, but it's helping keep up your physical strength to what's normal for you. And this is going to help with tasks like getting out of bed or climbing the stairs. And then there's balance exercises, and this is like yoga, and other balance challenging things. And this is going to help ease. Hold on, I can't read it. Sorry. This is going to reduce the fall risk for someone. That's what that's going to do. And I've seen people. We actually, who it was it the lady yesterday, Diane? You can correct me if I'm
Yes.
wrong. Was she talking about yoga? Was it her, or was it
Yes.
both of you guys? Yes.
Yes.
And we were talking about the Silver Sneakers program and everything, and how there's so many perks to go into those exercise classes, and they don't always have to be just because you're getting exercise, as she put it. So
the story was, this is hilarious, that I have an 81-year-old client, and she calls me and she says, Diane, I'm doing yoga. And I'm like, what? She goes, yeah, I'm going to 3 different places. I go, you are? She goes, he's so beautiful. And that was her instructor that was getting her to the 3 places.
Whatever it takes, she was there.
Whatever it takes.
You go,
right.
girl. You go.
I loved it, though.
Silver gold.
I loved it, though. I loved it. All right. So what are some statistics regarding falls? Falls are the leading cause of injury-related deaths for adults 65 and over. This equals out to about 40,000 deaths annually. Over 14 million older adults report falling every year, but fewer than half will even tell their doctor or a family member or a friend. They will just keep it to themselves. My mother was one of those people. She told me once that she had fell when she was in the shower, getting in and out of the shower. So I'm like, Mom, what can I do? So of course we went in and we installed some grab bars, and I even put a chair in the bathroom so she could kind of use that, because we have a shower that you have to step over. It's a pretty big step. But come to find out, she had fell about 10 times before that, and she hadn't told me. She hadn't told me, my husband, nobody. We didn't know. So that was pretty eye-opening to me, that an older adult is treated in the ER for a fall every 11 seconds. This equals to about 3 million visits a year. Falling once doubles the chances of an older adult falling again. Falls are the most common cause of traumatic brain injury. So what are some risk factors for falls? So the physical and biological ones are muscle weakness, gait and balance, so you can kind of tell when people are walking if their balance is a little bit off sometimes. Vision and hearing deficits. And this is usually unknown vision or hearing deficits, like they're unaware that the deficit is so large that it's having an effect on them. Chronic conditions, hypotension, which is a low blood pressure episode. This is typically like sporadic low blood pressure events that they weren't expecting to happen, or weren't aware that they had low blood pressure. Incontinence. The urgency to go has been shown to, people try to get up fast and they're trying to get to the bathroom fast, and it doesn't always work out that way. Behavioral and medical risk factors would be medications. The side effects of multiple medications can, especially if it's not, your doctors aren't talking about your medications. You're different if you're seeing a specialist for a heart, and you go to a primary care doctor, and your primary care doctor doesn't have any idea what your heart doctor prescribed you. Those can intertwine and interact, and sometimes those interactions can be devastating to people. If you have a history of falls, the slide before just said, if you fall once, you're double the risk of falling again, which I worked at a retirement home for some time doing housekeeping for about 3 years. And, the residents there, they really loved us housekeepers. We were their favorite. We were who they would come talk to. And I can't tell you how many times, if they fell once, it was almost guaranteed you would hear it. You'd hear the phone call over the radio. We used to have walkie talkies. You would hear it again that, the resident in room blah, blah, blah has felt their fall alarms going off. So it was always bound to happen. The fear of falling actually causes so much anxiety that it becomes a risk factor. Sometimes you're too careful and it ends up backfiring on you. Dehydration and nutrition are also another risk factor. The environmental risk factors are home hazards like clutter in the way, throw rugs. That's a really, really big one. I know my mom loved rugs. That was her thing. So we had to move a lot of rugs out of her room. As I noticed she was falling in the shower, then we were falling other places too. Uneven steps. This is something that's harder to fix because, it's usually, they're there. They're stuck there. They're harder to fix. So lack of support fixtures such as handrails. That's a really big one. Poor lighting and then poor footwear. So what can we do to prevent these falls? Stay physically active. That's the one we already talked about. Review your medications with your doctor. And this is all of your medications, that the specialist prescribed, that, everybody has prescribed you. Review them with your doctor so you can see what possible side effects they're going to have together. Always get your yearly vision and hearing tests, and then wear proper footwear. Sturdy, well-fitting shoes with non-skid soles. And I will also say that walking around barefoot is probably not any better. That at least when I was researching this topic, that's what it came across as. Even in socks, it's not any better. You're probably more likely to slip in socks than anything, I would say, because you get those socks. My daughter, she used to, her favorite thing used to do, find the most slippery socks she could find and go ice skating in my house because we had hardwood floors. She loved doing that, but boy, she hated hitting that ground. And then another thing you can do is modify your environment. You can clear the walking pathways, use non-slip mats in the shower, install grab bars in various places such as next to the toilet and tub, but you don't have to be limited to that. You can install them anywhere you feel necessary in your house that has somewhere good to install them. Ensure all areas are well enough lit, especially in the staircases, hallways, and nobody really thinks about this, but if you have a dog or anything that you have to find yourself walking outside at night, there are so many trip hazards, and that environment is always changing, with the weather and everything. It could just knock a tree branch down and put it right in your walkway, and you would never know it's there if it's not lit well enough. So I also found this checklist. It's actually from, I believe, the Council on Aging. I'll have to double check, but I think that's where it's from. And it's actually a checklist you can go through to make sure that your home is safe for you. So for the stairs and the steps, indoors and outdoors, some of the things they say is always keep objects off the stairs, fix loose or uneven steps, have an electrician put an overhead light, make sure you have family or a friend that can help change your light bulbs. That's another big one. I can't tell you how long I leave a light bulb out at my house sometimes before I change it, and I know that's bad, but make sure the carpet is firmly attached to every step, or remove the carpet entirely from your stairs. If it's kind of ripping up and torn up, that's easy to get your foot stuck on, and you're going to go down the stairs pretty fast. You can fix loose handrails or put in new ones. And you can make sure handrails are on both sides of the stairs, not just one side, because chances are you're going to have to use the other side at some point in time. You can always ask your friends to help, and this is for your floors. You can always have your friends help move furniture so your path is clear. Remove the rugs, pick up things that are on the floor. Coil or tape cords and wires next to the wall, which is not something I thought of until I saw this. You don't realize how big of a tripping hazard cords can be until you trip over it, usually. And then you can also, in the kitchen, you can keep things on the lower shelves, which that's a good one too that I hadn't thought of until this. If you must use a step stool, get one with a bar to hold on to. Never use a chair. And then in the bedrooms, you can place a lamp close to the bed where it's easy to reach, or you can put in a nightlight. I know we have a bunch of those ones, that come on at night automatically throughout my house. And it wasn't just when my mom was there, we still have them all over the place. In the bathrooms, you can put on, the rubber mat on your shower or the little sticky things that you can stick to the bottom, and then have a grab bar next to the tub and toilet. So this is also why we try to cover any gaps that you have in coverage in your healthcare, is for you to be able to stay independent as long as you want to in your own home. So with plans like a short-term home healthcare plan, in certain situations you may find yourself in, this will allow you to maintain independence and help with your ability to recover at home or stay at home. Diane, you want to add anything to that?
It's so vital because, people think, oh, I'm not going to trip or I'm not going to fall. But golly, those numbers are unbelievable, Courtney. I had no idea. Did y'all have any idea of those numbers for how many people in America fall and how many people go to the ER because of it? Eileen, you knew? Golly, I didn't have any idea. That's amazing to me because people will need to have the modifications when they go home. The first thing that usually happens is, if Medicare orders that home health care piece and you need to have care at home, and it's the home health, not the private duty home health, they will send out a nurse. And it's typically that nurse is there to check the medications to see if you're polypharmac and see if all your doctors may know of all your medications. It's just a double check that they do. And then they also check for everything in the home that could be a fall risk. And usually they're saying, add these grab bars, take up these rugs, those types of things. And so what Courtney's pointing out is you can have, in addition to what the limited piece that Medicare will add for skilled care, you can have custodial care in your plan. And custodial care is someone to cook, clean, also, be there for companion services, provide, sometimes it's transportation. It's also someone to provide not only hands-on assistance, but just standby assistance. And it happens much faster than a long-term care plan does because you don't have to project that you're going to need care for more than 90 days. So the home health care plan is very, very affordable to add some custodial care, and it gives you the money to be able to afford, and much better afford, a private duty nursing situation or custodial from private care. So having that gap plan, it is an important conversation for anyone who's listening to this, to know about it, hear about it, be educated about it, so you can make some educated choices. So if you haven't had a conversation, anyone who's going to be listening to this, about the options of adding short-term private home health care to your portfolio, then it is important to have it, because it's not life-changing of the dollar to pay for it, but it is life-changing when you have access. Believe me, we've experienced it with my dad, with my uncle, with my aunt, with my husband, with myself, having access to it. And it's much better when you do have access. So let me make sure that you know how affordable it can be. And please reach out to Courtney or I, and we'll go over that even more. Courtney, keep going.
All right. So myth versus fact. If I fall once, it's just part of aging. This is absolutely a myth. Falls often have preventable causes, as we've just seen. Of course, not all of them do. There's no way to prevent everything 100% of the time in the world. I mean, there's absolutely no way. But typically, these falls can have preventable causes, and we just went over all the risk factors for that. Using a walker means I have lost independence. This is absolutely a myth. It's just the right mobility aid can help you maintain your independence longer. I see it, you see it all the time, and it does not mean you are not independent because you are using an aid. You are using that aid to keep your independence. And mobility is not just physical. It's physical health, mental health, transportation, nutrition, social connection, and community resources. So we challenge each of you to do one action this week to help maintain your independence in the future. Schedule a medication review with your doctor. Walk 10 minutes each day. And, this could be in your neighborhood. We have awesome trails in Missouri. I talk about them all the time because I love them. My daughter loves them. And there are some very accessible trails too. There's not, just mountaintop ones that, are not accessible. Analyze your environment and remove tripping hazards. Call a loved one to talk and enjoy it. Stay connected with your loved one. Make an appointment with your eye doctor for your yearly exam. And then here's some resources we have for mobility and independence. I'm sure there is so many more. I probably could make about 20 slides with resources for this. A big one is Aging Ahead. We love them at Aging Ahead. They're able to connect people with a lot of resources in the area. Martha's Hands, of course, we had to put that on the list because they will allow you to maintain in your home with the home care that they offer. Your area agency on aging. I put the link to the St. Louis one because that's what area we're in. And so I figured that would be the one to put, but all you have to do is search your area agency on aging near me. And that's all you have to search and it'll pull up the ones in your area. So Champ Assistance Dogs. That's what Pam was talking about earlier about the service animal and helping with that. Silver Sneakers or any area gym can help you remain active too. They have a lot of classes for senior citizens and everything geared towards that. Keeping your independence. Your local YMCA, that's another great resource. I believe it was my goddaughter's grandmother. She religiously went to the YMCA off Carondelet. That's her home. She loved it. It actually helped her not, be socially isolating to herself. She made friends that way. You can search for senior centers in your area too. There's a lot of different ones. And then the National Council on Aging, actually this link right here offers exercise programs you could do at home. And I think they even have videos on there too. But it's like a big list of, chair exercises, anything you can think of that you would be able to do at home to help keep your independence. And that is all for the slides.
Very good. Very good.
So I was recently talking to my friend, Dr. Maureen Hughes. She's a PhD and she is a yoga Thai master as well. And she said, Diane, to get that lymphatic system moving, she goes, you need to beat on your chest every day. She's like, just go like this and pound it all out. She's that lymphatic system just starts moving. She said, get your loved one to just kind of rub your back and pound it out and knead it out. And she said, it just gets it flowing. And she goes, and if you heard about those little plates that you can order, and they're there's probably about 1 foot by about 2 feet by 1 foot plates, and you can plug them in and you put your feet on them and they get your lymphatic moving, your system moving too. And I said, yeah, I've done that. And she said, well, keep doing it. So she was saying, she goes, I saw your video on YouTube about women's health. She said, and I thought it was inspiring. She said, but I've got about 5 more tips for you. And I said, well, watch this one too. And I told her about the subject, and she stood up immediately and she said, make your hands dumb on your side. Just shake your hands out. Just shake them, shake them, shake them, shake them. Just shake them out on the side of you. And she said, and then just start swinging from side to side and let your hands swing in front of you and swing in the back of you. She said, you don't have to do anything. They will swing naturally. And she said, that will release that lymphatic system. And she said, then you wiggle your toes. Now you can feel the ground. And she said, you're grounded. You have a better positioning walking out the door. She said, it'll wake your body up. It'll alert your body to be on alert and to feel through your feet. And she said, and that's what you want. And I said, oh my gosh, thank you so much. So I will post that video of her doing that so everyone can see it. And just look for that on Facebook, because she said I could. So I'm going to do it.
Diane?
Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to add one more thing, and Courtney, I think it would be great to add to your presentation, and that is mall walking. Walking in the mall, because one, It gives you more safety than as we get older. If you're talking about being on the trails, that may not be as safe for a lot of older people who may not have it. But also, it's when it's hot, they have the access to the cool, and there are people in there, and there are things they can do and look at. So I think that's something great if you would add that. Um, I think the other thing is everything that you put together was fantastic. It's something that
Yes.
I'd like to talk to you about more. And all of the individuals on this call, I will be reaching out to you because I'm currently working on a project at our parish where we are doing more of the outreach. Not only, you outreach to your family and everybody inside of your parish, but outside too, because I think the idea about the isolation and loneliness is one of the largest non-spoken type of situations that we have, a healthcare issue. And I would love to have the access um, to Eileen. I love what you're talking about. Also with Pam. Oh, those dogs what they can provide to an individual. I think that's terrific. And then having access to not only Courtney but also Diane, in that we take what's real that we recognize, and you can convert it to that planning from an insurance standpoint. What products do we need that fill those gaps? And maybe you even have a situation, or you may even have something that you're just not aware of. So it's filling the gaps of lack of information and education. So I am so thrilled I came on for our tune. Was it Tune Me Up Tuesday?
Tune in.
Okay, that's great for me. But I think it's been fantastic, and I love what you guys are doing because we are being very holistic in the care for our advising not only our clients but those who may need access to it. And that diversity is important because in my community, a lot of times we don't have access to this kind of information. So I'll raise my hand to do whatever I can to get that done. But I would love to have
Awesome.
you guys participate. Thank you.
So I'm going to give Diane the call out because she was the one that I met through my daughter Denise, who gets out and about. She's the marketing part of it, not the nursing. And Diane was able to meet with my husband and I and look at our plans that we had. We had, we thought we were all in good shape, but there were so many things that she did a little jerry rigging and just little changes. And especially as I needed a dental plan, she basically made it so that I get to keep my beautiful smile to be able to smile at people as we walk each other home. So talking with the insurance people, because the resources, and it wasn't that we didn't have insurance, she was able to see it just by jerry rigging what we had. We could be, more things could be available, more resources. Right. There's no way you can know everything. It's wonderful to have friends that are active and smart in the different areas of their life.
Oh, amen. Yes.
Amen. Absolutely.
It's an honor. I will tell you that Kathy is much like myself in the fact that I can describe her this way. As one of my clients said to me, he said, Diane, it's free to talk to you, but it's expensive if I don't. Kathy's the same way. So is Courtney. I think so are you, Eileen, and so are you, Pam.
Yeah, you've helped me a lot with my insurance, and every year I, want to get in touch with me. This year you got in touch with me early, but you were able to help me with my daughter's insurance, and that is critical for me to make sure that she's taken care of. And especially, you know, when you get older, you never know how long you're going to be here. So I want to make sure that she is taken care of when I'm not here. And I mean, my own insurance is important too, but thank you for telling me that I needed to change it and change it now. I appreciate that. So that was very helpful. And it's nice to meet all of you. It's nice to meet other people who are working with people who need the help like this. And I like to make your acquaintance. So thank you so much, all of you.
Yes.
Courtney, your presentation was wonderful.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
This girl is brilliant, folks. Brilliant. She's brilliant. She makes my day every day. She's amazing. She'll say, Diane, have you thought about? And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go.
Sit down for this one.
This is a new way. I'm like, oh, it's wonderful. So, but I have learned that from you ladies, that that you don't work in a silo. When you get the opinions of other people and they pour into your life, and they're pouring in life into your life, and they're saying, right, you can do this better, you can do this differently, you can think differently, you can reach more people, you can have a greater impact, you can be more than who you are now. I mean to tell you, I'm so glad that Courtney sees that is one of the biggest thrills of my life, to be able to have friendships like this, because you all inspire me from the bottom of my heart and my soul. Each one of you inspires me. I love it. It makes me cry. I love you guys.
Ditto.
Enjoy that new car, Diane. Enjoy that new car.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
It's just new to me, because I'm one of those people, I have to buy a pre-owned car, so I found out that my car that had 73,000 miles on it, that was a 2020, and that's not that bad of mileage, but I was able to find a 2025 with 7,500 miles on it that would give me 100,000 mile warranty. And I looked at Eddie, I go, what do I do? He goes, what do you think your dad would want you to do? Not your mother. Your mother would say, go buy the most expensive car. He said, what would your dad want you to do? The guy that worked for the Department of Defense his whole career. I said, Dad would say, analytically, that makes sense. Go get that other pre-owned car. So that's what I did. I listened to my dad in my head. But thank you, Pam. It's going to be fun. If y'all want to go fast, let me know. We'll avoid my office. We'll avoid the office by the St. Louis County Police Department, right? We'll avoid that one. Oh, gosh. Well, I wish you all a wonderful day of freedom, independence, mobility, blessings, and that you remove all those rugs around you.
Yeah.
Stay upright.
So much, everybody.
So you're not.
Bye, everyone.
Show John.
Oh, John.
Hello there.
Hi.
I put my pretty face up there for you.
Oh,
I love it.
This is my high school sweetheart.
Oh my gosh, y'all are so precious.
oh.
This is my high school sweetheart. I met him freshman year.
She said, I'm not letting this one go.
He was a keeper. So really having special people in your life. And when you build these communities, these small communities like the Zoom even, that is precious people that teaching you all the time. Every day is a school day.
Oh,
Right.
I love
Love that.
I'm getting the t-shirt. We're making t-shirts
Right.
for that one every day. Oh, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to put your name underneath it. Eileen Hedrick says every day is a school day. I love it. I'm getting the t-shirt. We're doing it, Courtney. If y'all want a t-shirt, let me know. Send me your sizes. I'm making t-shirts.
It's going to be a Tune In Tuesday t-shirt, and that's going to be the motto on the back.
Yes, it is. We're stealing it. I love it. Oh, I love it. Oh my gosh. If we stay on the phone long enough, we're going to figure out the whole world.
Exactly right.
We'll just
I do have another meeting. I have to.
I do too, so I've got to jump off. It's
Okay,
a pleasure
guys.
meeting everybody.
Bye-bye.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, you all.
Bye-bye.
Love y'all. Bye-bye.
Bye.